Welcome to Discover Gale's Career Transition Resource from Discus. My name is Tammy Van Buren and I'm your Gale trainer today. And I'm really looking forward to talking to you about this great resource that you have from Discus that is great for all different types of not just for job searching. I think that's a little bit of a misconception with this resource. There's a lot of valuable resources within that I'm excited to show you how to use, how to share this with your users. And that's one of my questions too. I introduced myself to you. If you could let me know what type of library you're coming from in the question box, that would be great, just to give me an idea of how I should gear this session. This usually is used a lot in the public libraries, but I'm seeing it more and more in K-12 also. So if you could let me know, because there's areas where I want to touch on if we have any K-12 folks on the line today that I want to share with you. I will pull them in, but just like to know who we have in the audience. That would be great. Okay, thank you, Kathy. So I see some coming in, and I'll watch that. I have the question box, just to let you know. I do have the question box open next to me, so I see when they pop through. Looks like we have a lot of public librarians today. Fantastic. Oh, high school library. Thank you, Margaret. So I will watch that and monitor it. This is your session, so I want to make sure you get the most out of this 30-minute session. So if there's anything you'd like me to go over again as I'm going through the resource, I'd be happy to. I'm going to touch on all areas, but really you can dive in and take a self-guided. There's some help resources available within career transitions, and also you'll see the flow of it. It's really something that an individual has to access and build on their own because it's very personalized, because you are accessing information that you're interested in, jobs you're interested in, building your own resume. So we will do a brief overview of the resource. And then I am going to show you how to sign in, where you can take a tour, job search. We're going to talk about job search or searching for positions, resume, cover letters, career paths, and there's even an interview simulation. And then we'll talk about some of those tools and features. And then at the very end, I will give you the wrap-up information, which will be a link to the recording and those additional training materials. We have short little video tutorials that really breaks out each one of the sections that I'm going to talk to you today about. They're short 2 to 3 minute that you can share too. So that may be something that you're interested, pushing out to your community, pushing out to your public community or your school community to share this, especially if I know we have a high school librarian. I don't know if you have any CTE courses. This is a great resource for those CTE courses that you may have in your building, or any STEM. I know that STEM uses this a lot too. A lot of courses or STEM pathways are using resources like this because they're talking to their students about that next step in their career, or where they're going to go in, next step in life. So I will provide you with those links at the end, and also my contact information. First of all, you can access your resources right here at scdiscus.org. And I will share that site with you. But just so you know, there is a direct link that'll take you to the job and career section. So it's job and career resources, and it's going to be under by subject. And I will take you through that path today. But just so you know, this is what it looks like. And look at right here on the right-hand side, it's already pulled out for you, career transition. So it's a featured resource, which is fantastic. And we're doing this webinar to feature this resource today. So you can see that nice blue icon from Gale is right there on the right-hand side. We're ready for you to use. So to tell you a little bit about career transitions, it's really a resource that helps people find what we like to say their true calling, right? So this time of year, you have a lot of people, yes, everybody's heading back to the gym, right? Everybody's more cautious about their health. Maybe they're getting ready for summer. I'm talking to you from Michigan, where we have a couple inches of snow on the ground, and I guess there's freezing rain coming in tonight. Hooray, it's something to look forward to. But, this time of year, we kind of all hibernate, and then you see a lot more people at the gym. Well, another thing that people are doing is they've hit that point where they're like, all right, it's a new year. I'm ready to make a change in my career. Or, all right, I now have my degree. I just graduated in December, and now I want to look at a new career path that I want to take, or I'm going to be done in just a couple months with school. I've been working in this job. I want to change positions, change careers. Or you might have a lot of college students that are about to graduate. This resource is great for them too. And I'm going to show you all the different ways that it can be used. The users will So it does have a complete, it's a guided self-paced application. So you really want to create a login account because you don't have to, but if you are going to save any information, writing your resume, saving job searches, writing a cover letter, that type of information, you'll want to create an account on this resource. So you will have that login information. I'll show you what that looks like. And then from there, the users will be able to access or assess their career interests. That we have a 60-question test that they can take to kind of assess their career interests. I did it today. I was kind of curious, and it looked like nursing or teaching, which neither one of those surprised me, especially the teaching one doesn't surprise me. But the questions were very interesting I wanted to see if there are any new ones that have been added, but quite interesting to go through that process. Great, again, if you're working with high schoolers, and I know a lot of those career tests are given at that level too. And then you can browse career paths, search for a job right on the resource itself. And it does pull from Indeed, build a resume, write a cover letter, and utilize the interview simulation. And also what I really like is, and you can see it right here on the home page, is find schools and programs. So you can search for schools and programs for a particular major or a particular career interest if you're looking to extend your education and build that so that you can move on into a new career. But that's my very brief overview. So what I'd like to do now is jump into the resource itself. Again, if you have any questions, please be sure to use that question box so that I can answer them for you. And here we go. Here's your Discus, scdiscus.org. And under by subject, it's right here, job and career resources. Now, when I click into it, I have a few other options here too on the left-hand side. You also have on the right, career transition is already pulled out, but the link is here at the very top too. Now, when I click on it, I am in Michigan, so you will be prompted for your username and password. If you're not sure what that is, you can check with your librarian. The Discus South Carolina's virtual library. So be sure to check with them because you do have access to all these resources. So I did cheat, and I do have it open here. Just want to refresh my screen. There we go. So first off, let's create an account so you can see what that looks like. Now I want to point out over on the right-hand side, you do not, it already has me logged in, so you can create any username. You can see here I did not use my email address, but a note is made over here on the right-hand side. If you ever forget your username, if you use your email address, you forget your password. Sorry, if you use your email address for your username and you forget your password, then you can have it to reset your password. You can have it sent to you. If you don't, like I did not, I just did T Van Buren for my username, and I chose a password. Then if I forget my password, I am out of luck. I will not be able to reset it and go back to my account. So you may want to use that email address if you're someone that happens to forget your password every now and again, if it's not a password that you choose all the time. Okay, so I am going to, and I don't remember my password. Let's see if I can get in. Let me go back a screen and sign in. There we go, pre-populated. So when you already have an account, I did save mine on Chrome, so I had the password saved, but sign in with username and password, and then you just click sign in. Of course, here's at the bottom, we see this all the time. You forget your password or you need to change your password. But again, if you want to make sure that you use an email address for your username, if you are, may forget that your password. Okay, just wanted to stress that point. First and foremost, so we signed in. Up in the upper right, I like to point this out first thing, because you may have, especially in public libraries, you may have patrons that come up and are like, I'm not really sure where to start, or they immediately jump in, like I would, jump in and start doing a job search. We have everything organized here on the front page, but this is a great place to just take a tour and see everything you have. So we have the table of contents here. You can scroll down and see, find a new job. This is the first section. Writing a resume. And you even give you a link out to start writing that resume. Write a cover letter. Tips and advice. So you can see we can go through each section that I mentioned in the PowerPoint that you're going to see at the top. But you can see each one just briefly, a brief screenshot of like, here's the career paths of each one. And it's a tour of the entire resource. Now, from this page, I can exit the tour, but I can also jump, and I want to show you this. Everything on that home page is in each of these drop-down navigation areas. So you can see Get a Job, Explore Careers, they're all here. I can go back to the home page. And from here, I can access all that information again. It's just set up a little differently. So no matter where you're at in this resource, you can jump to another section. So maybe you are working on your resume and you want to take a break and work on your cover letter. Or you're ready to do a job search. You found the perfect job. Now you're ready to write your resume, right? So all those options are there. They're also in the drop-down menu from once you click into one of these sections. So let's talk about some of this information on the home page. So we talked about take a tour. Here is the job search, writing a resume, write a cover letter, tips and advice, and then interview simulation. And then we also have discover a new career. So access your career interests. That's that 60-question test that I had mentioned. Browse career paths, match experience to new careers, and find schools and programs. You're going to see this daily leap. And this literally just changed from this morning because it was different this morning. But we've just updated it. So you can see it's updated all the time. And the Daily Leap is a career video of the week, 10 practical life and career lessons from Marcus Aurelius. And that video is here. So you're going to see a lot of these types of videos within this resource too. So let's start with doing a job search. On the left-hand side, you can search all jobs, but we also have internships, apprenticeships, temporary, and entry level. So if you would like to use one of these filters, you can. I'm going to start with all jobs. And let's look at okay. And you can see right here, these are all the jobs by Indeed. But it's linked in this resource. So since I created an account, if I wanted to add any of these jobs to the My Jobs section, I would have that option available. So here's a summer reading teacher in Charlotte. It tells me when it's posted. When I click into it, it takes me to Indeed. Well, this one tells you the pay per week too. And there's paid training. So you can see how easy it is to use. And it does open in a new tab. So I can go back to search jobs, click on another one, and it'll continuously open in new tabs at the top. So you don't have to click into that to use that back button. But it does tell you the date it's been posted. And then I can add a few of these to my jobs. And then at the top here, there's those jobs. So I'm on my own account. I did my job search. And of course, you can use different filters. This I am set to all jobs. I can change it to just within 5 miles. Let's see what we get. When was a job posted? The last 7 days, let's say, search. Okay, so here's a project specialist, part-time after-school enrichment teacher, live-in caregiver. So I can add a few more of those to my math tutor, training associate. Okay, and then they are all right here on the My Jobs. So from here, I can view that description again, or I can choose to delete it. It tells me the date I saved it onto. Okay, let me know if there's any questions on that. It's pretty straightforward. But remember I said I don't have to go back to that home page. I can jump to another section. So search jobs was at the top of the home page. Write resume was the next one in that navigation of the boxes on the left-hand side. It starts left to right. Let me go back to that home page just to show you. So the next one we're going to go to is right here, write a resume. And again, there's that navigation at the top. So no matter where I'm at, I can jump to another section. So here we have the getting started. So you can start building your resume. You can choose we're on resume home, but you can see all the different sections that can be added. We also have related articles. How to write an effective cover letter. Let's see. E-cover letters. Oh, that's a good one. Resume formats. That's the one that comes up a lot too. I mean, I've been hearing too was trending for a long time that recruiters only have, 15 seconds that they look at a resume, that they scan. So bullet points is under each section is the way to go. I'm not sure if that's still accurate, but that was the last I heard. That's not a lot of time that they're spending on resumes. So anyhow, there are also some videos here. Resume basics, tips to keep your resume out of the trash. That's a good one. Sign your cover letter. So, and then there's additional, browse more articles and videos. So let's click. I don't know about you, but I do like to look at, before I get started, let me show you the resume examples. So I can choose resume, go to resume examples here, or if I use the tab at the top, it also takes me to the same spot. So now these are resume examples for a specific market. So we have architecture and construction, arts and audio, video, technology and communications, health sciences, and then there are different types of resumes. So little experience, some experience, lots, or bullet point examples. So we have all of that right here. Let's look into little experience with information technology. Okay, so this example, I'm going to save this to my resume, and it's just like when you save a job. It's just going to show up exactly the same way, so it's very uniform in that respect. Of course, you can take this, the font is not the most appealing, but copy paste however you'd like to use this information, or just as an example, you have this resume that you can view. So really it's that, let's do lots of experience in information technology. We have that statement. Core competencies. Wow, this is very similar to what? Education. Okay. And then professional experience. But you can see these examples, if I go back, some of them you could see that there's not all these sections were there. Like I didn't see awards and honors or references. That one ended on, that last one with all the experience ended on education, right? So you can add in whatever sections you want on your resume. And I can still go back to those resume examples. So when I'm writing the resume, here I just clicked on education. I can type in the institution, city, state, month, and the degree, field of study, bullet points if I want to add any, and then save my information. So let's just give an example. I'm going to save that. Let's go to summary. I can add in whatever summary I want. There we go. There's my summary. I can add in bullet points below. Save. Now, what will happen is that I keep building this out. You can see the check marks on the right-hand side. I definitely would want to put in my contact information. Oops, just erase everything. Okay, and save. And you can see all the sections I've added here on the right-hand side. So let's preview. And this is a very pathetic resume right now, but you can see the contacts in the center, the summary, the education, but here's some options. So I can download this, I can print it, I can download references. I have all this, and it's going to save for me. So I can come back and do a much better job on my contact information or summary or education and continuously add. Which section do you want to put first? So here you get to choose too, work experience, skills, education, of those three. Okay. And again, those resume examples are here. So you can go back and choose to look at a resume example. If you notice when we were writing the resume, that's also here on the right-hand side too. And here's the information. So that's the resume that I had saved. You also have, you're going to see these information icons where they're a little helpful, like what can I do in this section? Here is where you're going to build your resume. You're going to be able to view examples of your resume. There's some articles, some videos, preview and download your resume. That's all that you're going to be able to do within this section. Now to write a cover letter, it's going to be similar. We only have two areas here, contact information, build the cover letter, but looks very similar to what we saw on building a resume, right? Pretty self-explanatory. We have cover letter examples. Here's lots of experience. And these, I think, are some of the toughest ones to write. I don't know about you all. I mean, thankfully, I've been with Gale for a long time. I'm very, very happy here. But I remember the last time I had to write a cover letter, and I did have to help my daughter who's in college with a cover letter, and that I think is the most challenging part, is putting in this cover letter, that information, and what is it that's going to excite the hiring manager to want to give you a call, right? So using these examples, using information, building it out here in career transitions can be really helpful. So let's look at interview simulation. Because sometimes you have folks that, I've sent out these resumes, you've had people look at their resumes and they're fantastic. And hold on, this is paying. Okay, it was extremely loud in my ears. Sorry, I did have a question come through. Oh, what is the format for the downloads? That's a great question. Let me go back. Okay, twice that came through. So let's go back to resume. And I'm going to download it. It's Word document. Let me pull it into my screen. It's opening up right now. So it does pull it into Word. Was that your question, like what type of, is it a Google Doc or a Word doc? It does pull it into Word. I hope that answers your question. So this is what it looks like. But then from here, you can edit it further however you like. Sometimes it's great just for a framework, to build it out. You're welcome, Sarah. It's just to build it out and get yourself started. I mean, a lot of times people aren't like exactly sure what all they should, and they're searching the web, right? Which is, oh my gosh, there's so many different resumes out there, and there's just so much to look at here. Okay, here's basically, this is what you need. Here's the sections you need. And I think too, especially with those that are just starting or entry level, just graduating from college, or those that have been 20 years with the same company and maybe they're looking to change careers. That's a long time ago. Your resume definitely needs to change, right? So this is a great way, rather than just searching the internet for templates or examples, you have it here that you can build out and come back and add, or maybe use both. I mean, we're not saying don't use that, but this resource, everything's here for you and ready to download, and then take it to that next level if you want to edit it even further. Yes, changes can be made outside. Once you download it, then it turns it into a Word document. Kathy, thank you for asking about that. So once you download it and it's that Word document, you can enable the editing and edit it however you want. Yeah, like sometimes if it's put into a PDF or something, I bet that was your question, because sometimes not everyone has access to edit a PDF, but Word's usually pretty easily accessible. Okay, so interview simulation is what we were on. Let me see if I can pause this before it starts in my ears again. Okay, there we go. So you can skip the animation. Just take you through a couple slides here. Here's the overview, the tools. I don't have to have this open. I can close it. And you start with your profile. I have more work experience. But you can see, you can go through. This is what we're talking about, that self-guided. So this is independent work that they can do. They can work on their interview skills using this simulation process to help with each section and what you're talking about, because this is really the prep part. Because sometimes you go into these interviews and you're talking about yourself, right? And you may only have 15 minutes. So how do you get to the point and talk about what you need to? This will help gear some of that questioning, or what questions to be prepared for. That's another one too. I know. Yes, I want to exit the game. I know that certain questions always pop up. Even at our company, there's certain questions that pop up. And it's interesting to hear like some of the responses to those questions. And I'll tell you what, they're not questions that we hear that you can find online. They're unique, and I think that's really important. So these simulations will help with that process, and just to get you thinking in that way. So a great tool, and especially for those that are new to the workforce, going through that interview simulation may be really helpful to them. Okay, so let's take a peek at, so we went through these four. Oh, I'm sorry, I skipped over tips and advice. So learn from career experts how to find, land, and keep the right job. So if we go into, let's do green jobs. You can click into each of these sections: media jobs, new economy industries, work at home jobs, top self-employment careers, how to start an online business. Here's some guidelines on, and this is how to start a consulting business. This may be helpful in a variety of different ways. I know when you're talking about building businesses or starting new businesses, any valuable resources you can get, the better. I just spoke to a friend, and that's something that they're looking at doing, and this would be a great tool for them to use too. All right, so I'm going to go back. Instead of going back to that home page, I'm going to jump to, because we went through these 4 sections, assess career interests. And this is those 60 questions. And so, do you like to build kitchen cabinets? No, not really. Chemical? Sure, that sounds interesting. Draw pictures? No. Help people with personal emotional problems? Maybe. So you can see as I continue to fill this out, it tells me how far done I am with the questions. And then at the very end, it gives you suggestions. And you can erase the results and start over, but it gives you suggestions as to careers that you may be interested in. There are 60 questions, so I'm not going to go through them all. Browse career paths, because we only have 4 minutes left. Here you can do a search for a certain career path, or we have some subject categories listed for you below. Here's health science, and you're going to see this grid in a couple different screens. I'm going to show you different things here moving forward. So you can see the career in the lead column there, the salary, how many people are employed, and then the growth. So if you have, and we even have these 2 sections at the at the bottom, green careers and new and emerging careers. But here I'm in health sciences, so it could support services, biotechnology, research and development, and then it starts to drill down. So you can see there's growth in all these areas and the approximate salary. Pharmacists are doing very well for themselves, and it's increasing by 17%, and there's over 269,000 employed. New and emerging careers. Again, that growth. I think that's really key too, because if you're looking to make a career change, you definitely don't want to pick a career where you have a decrease in employment, because it might be an area you want to avoid. These are all looks, and it doesn't surprise me in health sciences to see growth in all these areas. Looks like some are growing a lot more, 34%. That's quite a bit. And that's in the career paths. So again, I could type in or jump into one of these subject categories. Match experience to new careers. So work experience, military experience, match experience, new careers. You can find a career based on your past experience. So if you were in the military or you were a teacher, you can see the search assist pops up right away. So teacher assistants, teachers and instructors, communications. Let's try medical scientist. So medical scientist, I didn't even have to finish. You can see job careers, and it has a list below. Biomedical scientists, biomedical engineers. Now, remember these because I'm going to show you this next screen. Searching a school and program. So kind of the same idea where you're matching your experience to a new career, which is where we're at now. I'm searching a school and program. And we were in Browse Career Paths. So these screens are going to look kind of similar as to information they pull back. So here you can search by career. Let's do medical scientist. And choose the first one because it's the broadest. Within 50 miles. Let's make that a little bit. Let's do Charlotte. Okay. And you can even open it up to the entire state. Maybe you are looking to move closer to the ocean, right? And so you can open it up to the entire state if you want of North Carolina. I click search, and there are actually two. So I have two schools. One's a community college, and one is the Queen's University of Charlotte. Now, if I expand that, let's do 50 miles and search again, it's going to open it up. So we have three schools. What type of school it is, approximate cost, the programs that are offered. Let me show you an idea. I'm just going to remove this, and let's do by state. And I'm going to jump to Michigan for the same career. So maybe you want to go out of state. Maybe you want to come up to the snowy north and join us in Michigan. You can see all the different schools, but what I like here is the different programs that are offered. So Wayne State's a big medical school here in Michigan. University of Michigan, you can see, they're not showing the costs here though, but you can see all the different programs that are available. And then if we click into, it gives us a little bit more information, even admissions website, financial aid website. Here we go, student population, degree granting, and here's all the different programs. So anything that's hyperlinked out is going to provide you with more information. But a lot of great information here, and you're always going to see additional, like Ed2Go, you're going to see different links or videos or additional content over on the right-hand side. So we covered, oh, here's a day in the life of. This was interesting too, an interesting area, because if you are looking for a quick look at what your day as a court reporter would look like, and these are broken down too. They start out with an introduction, but you can see on the left-hand side, and depending on the type of career it is, we'll have different sections here. Okay. So we covered everything within this resource. Are there any questions? We are right at the end of our time. I want to make sure I show you the training tutorials. But before I leave the resource, are there any questions on this? And I will stay on the line a couple minutes too at the end. Okay, I'm going to jump back to the PowerPoint. Here's where you're going to find additional training materials. It's at support.gale.com/training. And then for the webinars, again, you're going to go to support.gale.com, but it'll be /discus/webinars. And it'll take you to both the formally recorded webinars that you have access to and upcoming. We have another one on March 7th where we're looking at different periodicals for research and your resources through Discus. So if you'd like to join me for that session, I'd love to have you again. But you can access both of these on the support site, the training materials. There are resource guides. Let me show you. I wanted to show you real quick. I believe I have it open here. Okay, so here's the Discus webinar support page. You can see here's the session that we're running today. Here's the one on March 7th, and here's all the recordings. So you can view, and there's quite a few. So if you need additional information on any of your resources, you have access to that here. You also have these video tutorials. So under the Training Center, if you go to video tutorials and go to career transitions, these are each section broken out. So these are 2 to 3 minutes. So assess your career interests. So if maybe you're promoting this in your library, in your public library with your users or with your teachers, and you want to just give them a short little video tutorial, you can pick a certain section. So here's the interview simulation or match experience to careers. So it's a short tutorial on just that section within this resource. How to search for jobs. Okay, so again, you're going to go to that support site. You're going to find a lot of great information there, support.gale.com. If you go under the training section is where you're going to find those video tutorials. To find your specific Discus South Carolina or North Carolina homepage, you are going to look here on this page here and access all those webinars that you have access to. Okay. And again, here's your homepage. And remember, by subject, it's going to be under jobs and careers. Are there any questions? I will give you my last slide. Okay, and here's my contact information. Tammy Van Buren again. I'm your training consultant for South Carolina and your customer success. Now, you do have a customer success manager if you are the librarian that is in charge of your resources, makes those administrative decisions, that type of information. You can definitely contact gail.customersuccess@cengage.com. They, of course, your Discus, first and foremost, reach out to your Discus librarians for information specifically for your resources. But if you do need to reach out to Gale, maybe you have additional resources through Gale, you can contact your customer success manager. They're there to help you in all, support you in all things Gale. So you're going to usage reports, or if you're looking at different access points or anything along those lines, the support site, training materials, that type, they can contact you and talk you through everything and take you through that support site. But that is our overview for today. And hopefully you're going to jump in and enjoy this resource and share it with your patrons and your users and your students and your teachers. And they're all going to be building resumes and doing job searches and all those great things. So if there's any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I will stay on the line for a couple minutes, but otherwise that wraps our session. Thank you for your time today. I appreciate it, and I look forward to hopefully talking to you again on our next webinar. Okay, I haven't had any other questions come in. If there's any questions, I still see quite a few folks still logged in here. If there's any questions, please feel free to send them in the question box. Or if there's anything you'd like me to go over again, I'd be happy to do that now. This is your time, however you'd like to use it. Otherwise, I will end the session in about a minute here. Okay, thank you for your time today. I do appreciate it. And have a wonderful day and a great week. Thank you again. Bye now.